Shalom, 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 shalom. Peace, 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 peace. Mad war, y'all. Mad war. Come on. All praises, man. Come back in. Come back in. Part two. You know, the battle is real, man. And they try to, whatever spirit it was, man, trying to stagnate, trying to frustrate. Uh, I was just telling UZL, I was like, man, Safe might have won this war, but I mean, won this battle, but not the war. I might have to try to get back on tomorrow morning before I get to the rest of the Shabbat works. But I kept swinging, man. Not taking no L's, not taking no L's tonight. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High. While y'all side, man. The water for y'all that's checking your notifications, man. Staying up late with me and is willing to go that extra mile, man. You know the scriptures tell us in Matthew 5:40. Your brother compelled thee to go a mile, go with him twain. I think it's 5:41. The water for y'all that's going twain with me. Because these spirits definitely try to frustrate a brother, man, and try to get me to shut up. Somebody didn't want me talking no more. Some spirit said, no, shut him up, quiet him down, mess with the tech, frustrate, make those who's paying attention and watch get frustrated, tune out, and say, I'm going to go to somebody else. Let me turn on, which I'm not no hater. Fair enough. But when you see that notification, jump back on, man. Hey, you better get back over here. You better get back over here where you started at. All praises, man. I ain't taking no losses. I ain't taking no losses, huh? I ain't taking no losses over here. All praise on the glory to the Most High. We getting back to it. All right. That's right, Ike. 10 toes down. We not moving. You dig? I know my brother's with me. My sister's with me. We going in. We going back, all right? Rewind. Some of y'all said, oh, damn, it was a good one. Oh, well, let me turn off the YouTube, man. I'm going to bed. Oh, well, no. You better stick around. You never know. Like I say, man, if you've been around, you know what I'm putting down. If you have not, don't get too close because you might get shot. It's dangerous over here. You better be careful if you're trying to ride over here. You understand? All right, so before we were so rudely interrupted, if I'm coming in clear, man, throw a 7 in the chat for me. Do me that solid. Let me know that I am coming in clear and everything is okay. You understand what I'm saying? Let me know. Let me know. As before we was rudely interrupted. 2 Corinthians 13 tells us what? Verse 6, but verse 8. For we can do nothing against the truth. Nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Right? And that's what it is. That is what it is. Not gonna be stopping what's going on here. All right. So long as we're clear about that. Let me get one more in First Corinthians. Just solidify via the scriptures, right? It'll be all right. It'll be all right. First Corinthians, 15 and verse 58. Tells us, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast and what? Unmovable. Not gonna be moved by these spirits, man. Not gonna be moved by the opposition that tries to thwart the progression of the word. Can't do it. Can't do it, right? 10 toes did down. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. That's right. So the labor that I do, you do, that we do, it's not in vain, y'all. Stay strong, stay vigilant, because our adversary, the devil, walketh about like a roaring lion, seeking whom we may devour. I ain't trying to get bit. I hope you're not either. Welcome back, everybody who's made it back in. Few of y'all said, oh well, maybe a brother. I'll pray for the brother. Maybe again. Get the water for the prayers. But for those of you who didn't give up faith, man, and said, you know, the brother's gonna be back. If he does make it back, I'm there. All praises. All right, let's get back to where we were. Oh shoot! Now I gotta find my damn PowerPoint again. It's lucky, y'all. Give me 1 second. That's right. Kwame Yasha Allah. Here we go. Once this thing opens up, we'll be good to go. There you go again, trying to slow the progression. Hold on. Okay, y'all, give me 1 second. Don't tell me I did it again. I'm still coming in. Okay, still kind of slow. Nonetheless, we're here. We're here. Where were we before I was so rudely interrupted, man? Was we talking ice? We was talking ice. We was talking ice. Right? Let me see if I can follow along before we get on back. This thing even mess with my phone too. Imagine that. All right, I see some sevens in the chat, so I'm gonna take it that y'all can hear me pretty well. We're gonna get right into it. So, all right, good. I can hear. All right, all praises. All right, Shalaki, y'all. Right, ask that the Most High watch over, bless, and protect us. Yahweh Shemishai, Shemai Lanawa Babakashah. Ask the Most High to hear us and to please Shalak, Micah Allah, Saint Michael, Walahayim, and the angels, Lamagundawa, Man, Shatan, Marakayim, Rayam, to protect us from Satan and all evil. Right? That's the prayer for the night. Ask the Most High to send Michael and the angels to watch over us and protect us from Satan and all evil. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushai, in the name of the anointed Savior Yahushai, we pray. Amen. Right? Hallelujah. Here we go. All right. The Supreme Court decision on ICE and racial profiling explained. So, like we was talking, I don't know where I got cut off. It is what it is. Right. But the word on the street, the word on these political streets is that now ICE is been approved by the Supreme Court to racially profile Justice Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown, who, you know, I got my own problems with her, but nonetheless, she still said, hey, watch out. They coming. Constitutional rights are going to be thrown out the window. Racial profiling is about to kick in. You notice how they changed the narrative. It's not just about illegal immigration anymore. It's about crime now. as my brother Kohaf said, hey, ICE is flooding the streets of Chicago. They've been out here. They're in New York. They're in Florida. They're all over the place. They got the National Guard already on duty. Been distributed out to 15 different states, including major states, i.e., California, New York, DC, Chicago, etc. So you notice the pattern. There's always something that starts it, and then they utilize that to make changes in the laws, and so that everybody now can get used to the new regime. They did it in 9/11. Ironically, yesterday was the 24th anniversary of 9/11. And what did they bring in with that? The Patriot Act. They brought in the NSA and everything else to change all the laws in regards to surveillance, monitoring, eavesdropping, profiling, methods of travel, all of that stuff. And it was all because we were trying to protect you from the towel heads who wanted to take your freedoms from you. Remember that? Yeah, they're trying to take your freedoms all the way over there in Afghanistan. They hate your way of life. If y'all remember in 2001, when 9/11 happened, they preyed on all these Americans, man, and their insecurities. And what they do, they got everybody to wrap themselves in the American flag and say, hey, we're all Americans now. Forget everything else. I seen gangsters rolling around with damn American flags flying out their damn windows. Y'all remember back then? This is when the Lakers was going on a back-to-back, and remember they used to have them flags that you used to be able to put into your car window, and everybody's riding around with the flags blowing through the wind. Yeah, those flags got replaced by the American flags. People was putting them out on their damn porches and everything else. Everybody was so proud to be American. The next thing you know, they end up finding out, oh, there is no weapons of mass destruction. Hold on, we were lied to. Hey, what's going on with those poppy fields over there in the heroin trade? Why are we protecting those? Hey, what's going on? This ain't fair. We need to get out of Afghanistan. Now all of a sudden everything changes. Remember all of that? See, everybody's gonna make a complete U-turn too about this immigration when the damn right wing Edomites, they get locked up, their constitutional rights getting taken over, their guns getting snatched up. When Negroes who was out here voting for the Trump and Latinos for Trump and all that, they're all butthurt now and having voters remorse, saying, "Hey, this is what I didn't sign up for this. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm a citizen. I voted." Shut up. You fit the profile. Hello? Remember that? And now all of a sudden everybody wants to switch up, but they utilize those things to make changes. And now when the whole B system comes on in, you can't blame nobody but yourself for riding with it. The ruling is not the final word in the case, which stems from the Trump administration's attempt to carry out mass deportations, but the court's Republican appointed majority will allow the government to continue using aggressive and unconstitutional, in the eyes of its critics, tactics in immigration sweeps as the litigation slowly plays out. So again, you got some of our people, man, who still stand behind and say, man, the Constitution is sealed and bound and never going to be changed. This is again why they have the secret police. This is why they have the ICE Gestapos and the SS Army under the Trump regime, which is why they utilizing them to get out there and get at people so they can circumvent the law, right? So this is what we're seeing happening now. Racial profiling is now legal, so don't be surprised when we already seen that example. You saw when the brother was out there out on in DC on their porch, and ICE was just mobbing through the hood. Rolled up on the dude, sit on the porch, and asked him, "What you smoking on?" He's like, "Man, it's a cigarette." "Oh, it smelled like marijuana." "Hey, well, tell all your boys we here. All the agencies is here. We on the loose. The Trump regime, you heard about it?" And they like, "No, we don't pay attention to that." And they like, "Well, hey, put the word out. When you see us rolling through here, niggas better scatter like the lights is on, roaches. Otherwise, we got probable cause because you fit the profile of loitering. You fit the profile of a nigga who's up to no good. We might detain you, but throw you down to Alligator Alcatraz. How you like that? You forget about damn DC. Forget about the south side of Chicago and Inglewood and wherever else. You can forget about Watts, Compton, South Central, Hawthorne, Inglewood. You can forget about all that. You might end up in a damn detention center somewhere, and God knows where. They got 600 lawyers, military lawyers. They already appointing as new judges to fast track, get niggas and Hispanics up out of here. And now they've approved racial profiling. Isn't that nice? Sotomayor says Scott is the Supreme Court of the United States. Ruling lets ICE seize anyone who looks Latino. See, and she's on the Supreme Court. She's one of the ones who voted against it, but she got outvoted. She got outvoted. And she's on the inside looking in, and she understands the dynamics, and she can see where this is going, and she can see where they conspired to say this is what they want to do. You got to imagine the secret and the dark council that they have it in there saying, well, yeah, this is what it could lead to. This is what it's probably going to lead. And they probably say, hey, well, so what? Okay, well, it is what it is. And she's saying, well, hey, that's not right. That's not constitutional. But we can circumvent that. You know, this is what they're dealing with. So she's on the inside looking in. She's saying, oh, I better put the word out now. Being that I am, quote unquote, Hispanic, I better tell them that this is going to seize anybody who looks Latino. You're on the chopping block. Looking down here, we can read the last paragraph. While the Supreme Court's ruling was unsigned, it appeared to be supported along partisan lines as well as 3 liberal dissenters. Writing for the liberal justices, Sotomayor called the order unconscionable and said it made Latinos throughout the region fair game. You think they're running right now, scattering from Home Depots and everywhere else. Everybody is fair game now. I mean, we've seen time and time again citizens getting harassed, profiled, detained, right? And that's what it is. So no holds barred right now. Remember last week, they rounded up almost 500 South Koreans. You know, the administration said, hey, IQ, shut up. You kept talking about the damn Moabites. We got them too. Now what you got to say? And I said, yeah, you got them, but I think it's something fishy going on with that. Listen to this a little bit and we'll see what's happening.
Watch now, land of the Bible. Immerse yourself in biblical science.
Workers at a Georgia Hyundai plant describe a chaotic scene after an immigration raid at the facility. Several agencies. The crackdown, the largest so far on U.S. work sites, led to 475 arrests of mostly Korean nationals. Some of the workers tried to flee as word of...
Hold it. Did you hear what they called them? Did they call them illegal aliens? No, they were respectful.
Mostly Korean nationals.
Oh, Korean nationals. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? What happened to them being illegal aliens? What happened to them being migrants? What about them being, why do they get these particular titles, man, that sit back and empowers them, right? But when it comes down to the Hispanics, oh no, those are illegal aliens. Those are, why? You know why. Let's get that curse real quick. In Deuteronomy 28. Notice they call them, oh, there's South Korean nationals. And they was running just like the damn Hispanics was. They knew they wasn't supposed to be there. What are they running for? But no, there's still respect for them. Gather them all up, put them on a chartered flight, supposedly sent them back to South Korea. And immediately the South Korean president jumped out his seat and said, hold on, what's going on? We got a deal going on here. What's up with this? We got $1 billion deals on the table. They over there working hard. Like, hold on. I might have passed it. I think I did byword. My bad, y'all. Right there, 37. I'm tripping. Verse 37, Deuteronomy 28:37 says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether Yahweh shall lead thee." So this is why they're not being called the same thing. You understand? So when the difference between look, even we just seen that one. Verse 43, "The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high." See, the damn South Koreans, man, they come straight off the fishboat, man, working at the Hyundai plant in numbers. Got jobs, working high paying jobs over there, making the damn what do they call it? The EV chips and the EV cars over there. All exclusive. So they've been able to maintain and get in there above the very high. They've already got a prestigious respect. Oh, they're national, South Korean national. They're not immigrants. They're not, they're not illegal. They immediately throw that label on. Why? Because Hispanics are gonna be called a byword in the proverb. So-called blacks gonna be called bywords and proverbs. Niggas, spics, wetbacks, illegal, aliens. They get busted the same thing, man. Oh, they're Korean nationals. There must be some mistake. But no, the stranger that's within us, they're going to get above us very high, and thou shalt come down very low. They're going to come over here with privilege. They're going to come over here and get established with loans and businesses and their own towns and cities. Oh, yeah, there's Koreatown every damn where. They got their own banks, their own cities, their own restaurant. They got it all. They come over here, get immediate loans, setting up shop, buying Louisiana fried chickens and selling you damn fried chicken and everything else, mixing it with Chinese food and all kinds of damn abominations going on in those spots. Liquor stores, the whole nine. Right? So let's hear a little bit about these South Korean nationals. Let's be respectful.
Watch now, land of the Bible.
When it says Hispanic,
Immerse yourself in biblical science.
Workers at a Georgia Hyundai plant describe a chaotic scene after an immigration raid at the facility. Federal authorities say Thursday's raid was the result of a months-long investigation by several agencies. The crackdown, the largest so far on U.S. work sites, led to 475 arrests of mostly Korean nationals. Some of the workers tried to flee as word of the raid spread. CNN's Rafael Roma is covering the story. What were you learning of what was really a chaotic scene?
It was difficult to find out details about what actually transpired the first couple of days, but now we're hearing from people and we have learned some of the details that we have learned, Fred, after the massive raid conducted Thursday, include that officers spoke with each worker one by one to determine which documented.
They got to be interviewed, sat down one by one, over 400 of them. They took their time. What happens when this damn, you seen what happened when they raiding the damn farms, when they raiding the businesses, when they was downtown, they was grabbing them up, snatching them up, disappearing them in the unmarked cars and vans and didn't ask them no damn questions until they got to some undisclosed detention site. When it was Northern Kingdom, the damn Moabites, they pull them over and say, "Hey, man, are you here legally, man? Let me holler at you." Okay, arigato. Go ahead on. Let some of them go. Some of them got to stay, sit down, gave them egg rolls, whatever the hell they want. Give me a goddamn break, man.
Immigrants into custody. By the time they were done at 8 p.m. on Thursday, agents had arrested 475 people, most of them Korean nationals, making it the largest sweep yet in the current Trump administration's immigration crackdown at American job sites. CNN obtained a video that shows a Homeland Security Investigations agent telling workers to cease operations immediately. Let's take a look.
We need construction to cease immediately. We need all work to end on the site right now.
And shortly after the agents arrived at the plant and workers realized what was happening after word spread across the property, chaos ensued with many workers attempting to flee and some even running into a sewage pond and others hiding in air ducts. A Homeland Security Investigation Special Agent described how agents screened each person suspected of being in the country illegally.
Some that illegally crossed the border into the United States, some that came in through visa waiver and were prohibited from working, some that had visas and overstayed their visas. And each industry.
More on the reaction
With a whole
there.
bunch of other investigations.
Well, the headline from here is certainly that South Korea's president, Lee Jae-myung, is getting involved in this matter, telling his officials that, quote, all out necessary measures should be done to support Korean nationals in this matter. And
now their president pops out and says, man, all measures should be done to support them. You don't see it. Do you see the Venezuelan president jumping up saying, hey, hold on. Those are my people. You shouldn't do that. Do you see the little fake GMO small hat president shine bomb down there in Mexico? You think she's out there standing up for her people? No. About the president of Haiti? No. Senegal, Ghana, is anybody standing up for them? No. What makes them so special? He can pop out and say, even though you just heard some of them had illegal visas, some of them crossed over the border illegally, so forth and so on. It's about money. They were over there working in a Hyundai plant, making and had a couple $1 billion deal on the table, and he's tripping, saying, "Hold on, we got a deal going on. What's up with this? This ain't supposed to be going down like that." Let's look at Judith the 7th chapter real quick. This is what I want. Yeah, look at it. This is why I've talked about this before, but Esau, Moab, and Ammon, the so-called white man, the Japanese and the Chinese, and their affiliate tribes, the Koreans, all have always worked together. They always have been conspiring against the children of Israel, the blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, always been coming together, riding against us. So it's no marvel that they have this particular agreement and have this relationship that they can pop out, the president can pop out and say, hold on. We're not those same people. Like, hold on, you can get them Hispanics, but me and you, we supposed to have a different understanding. Look at this in Judah chapter 7, verse 4. Now the children of Israel, when they saw the multitude of them, were greatly troubled and said, every one to his neighbor, now will these men lick up the face of the earth, for neither the high mountains nor the valleys nor the hills are able to bear their weight. So King Holofernes of the Assyrian army was going against the children of Israel, right? And they employed the Moabites, the Ammonites, and the Edomites to rise up and come up against them. And they acknowledged and gave intelligences about how they were going to attack the children of Israel. The children of Israel had an advantage being above the mountain. So they said, well, look, the children of Israel got the advantage on us because they can peer down on us. We got to go up to them. But look at this. It says, then every man took up his weapons of war, and when they had kindled fires upon their towers, they remained and watched all that night. But in the second day, Holofernes brought forth all his horsemen in the sight of the children of Israel, which were in Bethulia, and viewed the passages up to the city, and came to the fountains of their waters, and took them, and set garrisons of men of war over them, and he himself removed toward his people. But look who else came. Then came unto him all the chief of the children of Esau, and all the governors of the people of Moab. So the so-called white man and his descendants, the Chinese and their descendants, and the sub-tribes came along, and the captains of the seacoast, and said, let our Lord now hear a word, that there be not an overthrow in thine army. And here they go, getting ready to tell them about. And notice, they're bowing down to a greater nation than themselves at the time. Remember, Esau didn't come into power until 333 BC. Some say 331 under Alexander the Freak. So until then, he was subjected to all these other nations being hired in as mercenaries. Right? But we see Esau and Moab with relationships going on back then, coming against the children of Israel, just like they would do in Psalms 83. with the nations coming against us. You can read about them also in Jeremiah, the 25th chapter, tells you about Esau, Moab, and Ammon always being together. So when you see the South Korean president pop up and say, I got something to say, hold on, you're supposed to be supporting us and not doing it, he felt like he got backstabbed. That show you that there is systematic racism that goes on, something that Charlie Kirk denied.
Watch now. Land of the Bible. Immerse yourself in biblical sites.
Critical race theory. That's all about
Workers at a Georgia Hyundai plant describe a
I can't tell. There is
thing involved in this matter, telling his friend to support Korean
nationals. They're not using illegal alien Koreans or they're Korean nationals. See the difference?
as fast as possible.
Now, the split screen from where he was just about 10 days ago.
Look at it. Up on business. Moab and Ammon, Moab and Esau again coming together, chopping it up. And here they are talking about multi-billion-dollar deals that they're going to put on the table. So after they left here and they hit that raid, that's why he reacted and said, what the hell? We just got through talking about money. What happened? I froze again? Am I coming in? We just got through talking about it. I can't hear myself. I don't know what happened. I just stopped it. It's not frozen, y'all. I stopped the video. The water for being vigilant, though. I know y'all probably like, damn, there you go again. No, I stopped it this time.
American shipbuilding again, improving investments in manufacturing in the United States.
So you can see where I'm going with this, right? Esau and Moab constantly being in league. They chartered them a private jet, took them back home, and they're gonna work on getting their butts back over here so they get the Hyundai plant up and running again. You understand what I'm saying? That's different than what's going on with our people. I told you there was some BS going on.
States.
So let's move on.
This battery factory run by
I ain't even got the Charlie Kirk yet, man. Let me get to him too. ICE is using fake cell towers to spy on people's phones. See that? See, this is a whole nother thing. Remember, it's immigration, but now it's being expanded into all different types of surveillance, all different types of way of tracking, tracing, being able to institute new ways to develop your ID. You're a citizen. Are you not? Digital ID. Hello? You understand where we're going with this? They're using the quote unquote immigration crisis to institute all these new unconstitutional laws to crack down on Jay and the world, to keep it real. Look at this. It's been some time since Immigration and Customs Enforcement has been seen using a tool known as Stingray, or a cell site simulator, in its attempts to find and remove undocumented immigrants. The tool tricks a phone into thinking it's a cell tower, and when a suspect's device connects, the cops can trace its location. Did you hear that? It's a cell site simulator, a Stingray, in its attempts to find and remove undocumented immigrants. The tool tricks a phone into thinking it's a cell tower, and when the suspect device connects, the cops can trace its location. Its use is controversial because anyone in the same area as the target is at risk of having their information exposed. In a recently unsealed search warrant reviewed by Forbes, ICE used such a cell site simulator in an attempt to track down an individual in Orem, Utah. The suspect had been ordered to leave the U.S. in 2023. Is believed to still be in the country. Investigators learned last month that before going to Utah, he escaped prison in Venezuela, where he was serving a sentence for murder, according to the warrant. He's also suspected of being linked to gang activity in country, investigator says. So, throwing out the baby with the bathwater, whatever. They putting in this Stingray tool to spy and surveil on everybody. And again, remember, this is going to be utilized for quote unquote criminal activity. It's not just going to be about no immigrants. That's going to be a new way to surveil. And matter of fact, man, it's par for the course anyway, because these little goofy YNs love filming themselves anyway in the midst of committing criminal acts, snitching on themselves, doing everything. They already want to be caught. So, imagine all the dirt that they're going to be doing and talking about and being when they don't even know they're being surveilled. They're already going on TikTok and Instagram and everything else, talking about what they're doing and exposing crimes and stuff that they're doing. They're already doing that foolishness. So now imagine what they're doing when they're not paying attention. They really about to lock these damn jakes up. Get ready. Moving on. Here we go. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk assassinated Utah University. Boo hoo. Boo hoo. And some people say, why are you so? You guys are just doing that for being upset about that isn't right. And he was a good man and a fireman. Okay, let me tell you something, man. Charlie Kirk said he doesn't believe in empathy. He said it was a new age term that the Democrats made up. Oh, you don't believe? Okay, let me see. He would be okay with what I'm saying. Because he said he doesn't believe in empathy. Where is he at? No, that's not the one. Here he goes. Let me blow him up.
And so there's some really good polling out of Alaska that shows that Kaka is gaining on Lisa Murkowski and is in a very, very good position despite the unconstitutional, immoral, incredible.
This guy was only 31, man. I could have sworn he was like in his 40s. Man, he saw it be aging bad, real bad. But continuing on.
Complicated rank choice voting system never should have been approved. It's silly. It's backwards. It's rigged. It's awful. So the new communication strategy for Democrats, now that their polling advantage is collapsing in every single state.
So he was trying to build his political platform. When he was of age, he was going to try to be a president and everything else, right? So he was an internet influencer, right-wing mouthpiece for the Republican Party. He helped Agent Orange win the youth vote, which is why he was being praised by Agent Orange for his efforts to uphold MAGA and everything else. But let me let him finish. He's gonna tell you what it is. It does look like a toupee, huh? He's definitely got that widow's peak jumping off. That's why I said, man, he look older than he's at 31. God dang.
It's collapsing in Ohio. It's collapsing even in Arizona. It is now a race where Blake Masters is in striking distance. Kerry Lake is doing very, very well. The new communication strategy is not to do what Bill Clinton used to do, where he would say, I feel your pain. Instead, it is to say, you're actually not in pain. So let's just very short clip. Bill Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up new age term that does a lot of damage. But
did you hear that? So when somebody is now, people out there expressing their disdain or they don't care or they're not empathetic to him passing, he says he doesn't even like that term. He hates empathy, right? So should nobody be feeling bad for him passing away or getting smoked on camera and everything else? Because he wouldn't care if it was you. He says he's not with empathy. So hold on. See, our people got short-term memory, man. Our people be so damn sympathetic for everybody else. I seen who was it? I didn't see the show, but I caught like the second part of her stream. Candace Owens' stream had 1 million plus viewers at one time. The stream broke down. She had to come back again, crying over her best friend. And Candace was on a good roll, man. She was exposing a lot with the small hats, man. She was standing on 10 toes, speaking about the chump and corruption and everything else. And now she done fell right back into damn Stockholm syndrome, loving white zaddy again. You dig what I'm saying? Like, look, He says this is a made-up term. Actually, this is how you know, man. These guys be brainwashed talking about. He said empathy is a made-up term, right? The ability to identify with or understand another's situation or feelings. Hello? He says he hates that. So he could care less about you or me talking about systematic racism, racial profiling. He does not want to hear about it, does not care. He don't want to hear about the plight of slavery. He don't want to hear about inventions that were stolen. He don't want to hear about people that were unjustly locked up, wrong. We just seen the video last week where the article last week where the brother got locked up for wrong facial recognition. He don't want to hear about it. He didn't care. Let him say it one more time, just in case for the people in the back, you might have missed that.
Empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but it is very effective when it comes to politics. And the word empathy, actually, Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't sympathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that doesn't.
So, okay, so if that's how he feels, then you reap what you sow. So when you hear in the Israelite community talking about the hell with Charlie Kirk, and you see all them little liberal Edomites running around saying we got him and hey, Charlie Kirk should have no problem with all of that because he says he hates the word empathy. He's not with it. He's not with sympathy. He don't want it. So hey, fair game. He's fair game when it comes down to what happened to him, right? Should nobody be talking about, oh man, y'all talking crazy. That ain't right. God don't like ugly. F that, man. He said it. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage. So let's not damage no more. This is 2022. He said that. So he says identifying or understanding another situation or feelings is made up, and that's a New Age term. Having pity is something that you should not have. I thought we're supposed to exude mercy as a Christian, right? Meekness, humility, all those particular aspects, fruits of the spirit. He didn't have it, didn't want it. But he's supposed to be this upstanding Christian. Give me a goddamn break, man. The attribution of one's own feelings to an object, what? The intellectual identification of thoughts, feelings, or the state of another person. Only people he cared about was his own. He didn't care about what was going on. The people from Latin communities in Mexico or Colombia or Nicaragua or El Salvador running from gang violence, running from drugs, running from persecution, oppression, poverty, so forth and so on, trying to get something better over here, even though it's an illusion, but it's better than where they was coming from. He doesn't care about what's going on with that. Didn't care. So why the hell are Negroes out here crying for him and talking crazy when he can give two craps about you? He said it out his own mouth. I hate the word empathy and sympathy. It works good in politics, but it's a made-up New Age term that could do a lot of damage. So we're not going to cause no more damage then. The hell with Charlie Kirk and whatever the heck happened to him, his family, whatever. Because he said, hey, don't have no empathy for him because he wouldn't have it for you. That's his words. I'm not being mean. I'm acknowledging his wishes. I'm honoring his legacy and his memory, but what he said to do, how he felt. Right? Isn't that what we're supposed to do? I mean, you tell me. You tell me. Am I tripping? I thought I'm doing the right thing when we expose this. Right? Let's look at a couple of scriptures. Psalm 58. Let's read 10 and 11. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. Hey, the Most High said we're supposed to rejoice when you see the vengeance of the Lord take place. You know, right when he got smoked, man, he was just getting ready to exploit and talk about gang violence and mass shootings. This same guy, man, who stood on 10 toes and said, hey, wait a minute. I thought I had, hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. I had some, because he had made some comments about the Second Amendment. And he said, hey, some lives got to get lost so that we can keep our Second Amendment rights. So I guess he lived by the gun, died by the gun, right? See that? And the Hindu, Charlie Kirk shot in Utah, once said gun deaths are worth it to keep the Second Amendment. Uh-oh. You reap what you sow, man. And that's just what it is. Am I being mean? Am I not showing empathy? Well, he said that ain't what he wants. He don't believe in that. So I'm acknowledging his wishes then. Right? So when the Lord said, guess what? Rejoice when you see the vengeance. Another one bites the dust. There's some more that's got to get handled, but it is what it is. We take what we can get at this point. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, verse 11, so that a man shall say, verily, there is a reward for the righteous. Hey, we're going to get ours, and we ain't got to do it. We didn't have to. We had nothing to do with whatever. You're in Utah. Damn near, if it ain't Vermont, Utah is right up there at the most whitest states in the country. I remember me and my sons, we was looking at Black and Hispanic populations. What states have the least amount? And I believe it was Vermont, and Vermont, New Hampshire, and like Utah were like ghost towns for Jay. So you was amongst all of your own. Got popped by one of your own. Blacks and Hispanic, we had nothing to do with it, man. We sat back, ate popcorn, and said, ooh, it's gonna be some trouble. So that a man shall say, verily, there is a reward for the righteous. Verily, he is a God that judgeth in the earth. Yeah, so we know that there is a God, right? No question. So I'm not shedding any tears for that man. He wouldn't for me. He wouldn't for my people. He can care less about a Negro or Hispanic, man. He damn near said black women is too intelligent, not smart enough to hold particular positions. Look at this, Isaiah 49:26. And I will feed them that oppress thee with their own flesh, and they shall be drunken with their own blood, as with sweet wine, and all flesh shall know that I am Yahweh, and thy Savior, and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. So we give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, because they feed on their own, man. That's their works that they're doing. That's Satan casting out Satan, man. They doing their own job for us. What do we got to do? All we need to be doing is repenting, fearing the Most High, keeping the commandments, staying focused, and maintaining until we get up out of here, man. Job 25 says that the triumph. We'll read verse. I'm gonna start at verse 1. Right. For time's sake, let's just get right to it. 4 and 5. Knowest thou not this of old, since a man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short? Yeah, he got called out and got smoked early in life. 31 is young, right? But the triumphing of the wicked is short. He was parading around with his banner saying, prove me wrong, loving to debate all the little liberal college kids, converting them into the MAGA movements, talking down on black folks and Hispanics and everything else. And yeah, he had some triumphing. He got fame, wealth, money, internet status, and everything else, political positionings, favor with the new Pharaoh. You understand what I'm saying? But the Lord said the triumphing of the wicked is short. He was so young. He has so much potential. His life was cut short. Oh, yeah, it was. The triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. He had a little flash in the pan. Didn't nobody know who Charlie Kirk was pre-COVID? Pre-Donald Trump elections? You understand what I'm saying? He rose to fame during the internet age of downtime when everybody was locked down, everybody was, having to be stuck watching this, that, and the third, and he was making moves to the political realms utilizing the internet in public speaking events, in debates, and hiding behind the Bible and Christianity as if he was trying to bring back family values and, speaking about, speaking down on George Floyd. I mean, he was doing a whole lot of madness. This guy's mouth was wide open with wickedness, but you know what? There is one thing I'll give him. I'll give him credit for this, though. I'll give him credit for this. Proverbs 10 does say this. Proverbs 10 and 18. It says, he that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth the slander is a fool. So he kind of fits in both categories. One thing I give him is he didn't hide his hatred with lying lips. He said what he said. See, like the old saying goes, man, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. So he put his feelings and his thoughts and his philosophy and ideology out on the table. You could take it or leave it. So for those with insight and understanding knew where he stood, knew that this guy was not what he claimed to be. Now he was cut short. And it says he that uttereth the slander is a fool. So, he's managed to slander and talk madness. Look, here's another one. Oh, not that one. Here's another one. Charlie Kirk says black women do not have brain processing power. Watch what he says here. Bold.
Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and I'm only here because of affirmative action.
So he's speaking against affirmative action. He's talking about Ketanji Brown getting on Supreme Court justice. One sister, she got put in, I believe she was a professor or something at a particular university. Now he's sitting up talking about how, how unfair affirmative action is. Now, we always said, affirmative action is like a pacifier in the mouth of Negroes, man. So we don't stand on affirmative action. We don't tell our people to be dependent upon the system. Why? Because the Bible tells us not to do that. Isaiah 30, real quick in 1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked of my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. See, our people was believing that their strength was going to be in trusting in the nations, going after their political ways, going after their advantage systems, which only created dependencies, right? The Lord said we didn't take counsel with him. We didn't consider him. We didn't go to him. We thought, man, we need to go to boss, man. Go to White Zaddy. Go to the government. Maybe they can do it for me. And then once he starts to pacify in your mouth and shut you up, you ain't got nothing else to say. So affirmative action, there wouldn't be no need for affirmative action if we was on a level playing field, if there wasn't systematic racism in place already. Why would we need affirmative action if there wasn't already a rigged system, huh? That's the point. But he says, oh, it's giving blacks handouts, blacks getting white people jobs. What's he gonna say it?
Yeah, we know you do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
See, now look at this over here. Look at this comment. Jesus loves says he wasn't being racist. He was speaking in reference to them. So he's speaking about black women who have achieved and gotten in positions of power via affirmative action. He says that they wouldn't have the brain, any other circumstance, they wouldn't have the brain power to even be where they're at, as if they didn't have the. I'm gonna let him play. I'm gonna let him play so you can see, because the sister's gonna come in and she's gonna speak on our behalf.
You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be.
Did you hear that? You had to go and steal a white person's slot. So he's already acknowledging white privilege. He didn't even realize what he just said. He just said that there was black women like Ketanji Brown and some other sisters of political influence saying that they only got in there for affirmative action because otherwise those will be white people's jobs. Not Arab, not East Indian, not Chinese, Japanese, not African. He's already acknowledging, man. These positions are already pre-reserved for white people. And the only reason why you got it is because of affirmative action. You ain't smart enough to hold these positions. Ain't no other way you got it but because of affirmative action. It ain't because of your intellect. The nerve of this dude. And people sitting out here talking about how much of a martyr he was and died for Jesus and, oh man, for a good family man. And get the out of here, man.
Be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in...
Now, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas, Democrat, right? She says, hey, yeah, I got here because of affirmative action. I got no blinders on. Yeah, is there a token system when it comes to this? Yeah, but guess what? I earned my spot. Watch what she said.
Higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that. We know.
So she's saying she may have got admitted into a university because of affirmative action, but that couldn't make her graduate. That wasn't going to get her the damn degrees that she needed to get into the political spheres that she's in and to get her acknowledgement and certifications. But he bypassed all that. Says, hey, you only got a position that's supposed to be for white people. Are people supposed to be shedding tears for this dude? Are you serious? You got to be losing your goddamn mind, man. Look at this person. Look at this white broad, man. This is why I said, are we on the verge of civil war, civil unrest? Look at it. Dr. Deborah, Deborah Fauché. She says, this woman is all of us right now. Watch this little white batch. She gonna go ballistic.
Mother fucking deranged king animals.
Now here she is sounding like an animal herself. Right. But notice, before she turns the camera on, she got to make sure her hair is done, makeup's done, the whole nine, right? I mean, this is the kind of foolishness that goes on. TikTok, influencers, jumping out there, agent provocateurs, trying to incite emotionalism out of people. She's out here trying to model up so that she can express her anger about Charlie Kirk getting taken out and automatically talking about the liberals did it. Notice when he got smoked, Agent Orange immediately jumped out and said, this is the work of the murderous left and the Democrats, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 right? Immediately jumped out and said it was a Democrat that did it. They didn't even know who shot it, who did it. They had no information at all. But they immediately set the tone for governmental gangbanging. As much as Charlie Kirk was talking about gang violence, mass shootings, and black folks and how we love having single parent homes and everything else, he's in the gang himself. He's in political gangbanging himself. They already are laying out. He just got hit with a drive-by. He got hit. His head. The head of the gang, the chief honcho. He got sniped and got licked in the ear a little bit a year ago. The Republicans. Oh no, the demo Crips and the Republicans. Shout out to what's his name? Gerald Celente. The Republicans and the Demo Crips. Red and blue, they in their political gangbanging their damn self. And here she goes, trying to be a damn influencer, makeup on the whole nine, throwing out, oh, the liberals are you effing animals, and who's she trying to rile up? So white batch, man, look at her.
Other fucking animals! You liberal, progressive, deranged fucking animals! You are so hateful in your hearts to go out and shoot a young man who's never hurted anyone.
Huh? How does she know? Do you think his comments hurt anybody? Do you think his political views hurt anybody? Huh? You think that his vote might have something to do with some of these migrants that's getting killed in these detention centers, getting rounded up illegally? Huh? You think so? You think his voting and progressiveness has something to do with troops on the streets and people getting chased up and harassed on their porches? Oh no, he didn't bother nobody. And here she is being a damn animal herself.
With Christian values, a young, beautiful family, a father, a husband, a friend, a son.
You see her fangs coming out? Look at her teeth. You're going to see fangs. Let me back it up.
Son. You shot him. Why? Because you didn't agree with his politics? Because you didn't agree with his ideology? That's the reason why he deserves to die! You fucking animal!
I know Hulk Hogan passed away, right? The Hulkster's gone, but hey, she might take his place. She might have a place in WWE. I mean, because this is acting at his best. But this is the type of agent provocateurs that they're flooding through the internet, TikToking away, trying to incite civil unrest, right? Got to be on point. Got to be on point with what they're trying to do. So we see what this has created and motivated, right? Let me get one more. And did we read Job 20? Yeah, we did read Job 20. So let's peep the game. Now, they arrested the dude. Now, remember, she said liberal. Trump said it was the left that did it. This kid that did it voted nonpartisan, meaning he didn't have favor for either party. His parents were Republicans. He was supposedly, spewing a lot of hate, didn't like Charlie Kirk, whatever, right? But there's nothing that would indicate that he was a Democrat or a Demo-Crip and went and banged on his enemy. we didn't see that. But notice how fast he got caught. His dad turned him in or whatever the case may be. But when this whole thing went down, everything went viral. FBI was on it. Every alphabet agency had dropped everything they had and ran to his rescue. Meanwhile, we still don't know who shot who in Chicago a week ago. 10 people put to death, 50 people shot. Like I said, here in LA, there was 10 people shot, 2 people dead in South Central. Then on the east side, somebody else got shot. I mean, what are we talking about? man. They don't give a damn when it's us. Mass shooting. We ain't talking about one person, multiple deaths, and they ain't sending nobody out. They ain't sending everybody and their mama to come figure out who did what. But Charlie Kirk says, hey, there's no such thing as systematic racism, man. That's all made up. It's a Democrat hoax. Everybody gets treated fairly. I can't tell. So that guy who did it, right? I think it's a little 22-year-old, 21-year, I think it's 22, 23-year-old Edomite man, privileged, lived in a nice little mansion. Pops had a construction business, was an ex-cop. His mama had some government contract to help people with special needs. Was raised around guns, the whole nine. So, hey, he got turned out for whatever reason. It doesn't really matter at this point. He did his job according to the Lord and got him up out of there. And Charlie Kirk said, don't have no empathy for him. So that's what it is. Moving on. Look, why are y'all sad? Teachers, firefighters, officials on leave are fired over Charlie Kirk post. This is what I'm talking about. Somebody leaves a post, a teacher leaves a post saying, why are y'all mad? And next thing you know, she's getting put on leave. He just said, I don't like empathy. I don't deal with this. I don't want to have sympathy over people and their plights and whatever's going on. Teachers, firefighters, elected officials, and even cable news contributors have lost their jobs or are under investigation after comments they made about the assassination of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. Now this guy is unapproachable. You can't speak ill of him. You can't speak. There is no freedom of speech when it comes down to it. People are getting fired, losing their jobs, getting put on leave, suspensions, if you spoke reproachfully over what happened to him. When again, out of his own mouth, he says, I hate empathy. So they're doing just the exact opposite of doing what he would have done. And here they are getting crucified for it. At what point in time is he being held as a standard as if he was like a legitimate political figure? He was a political figure on the internet, but had no governmental office. What are we talking about? Reports of teachers and school administrators around the country being put on leave proliferated Thursday, less than 24 hours after Kirk's death. School employees in Tennessee, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Mississippi, Ohio were all being investigated for posts made on social media. So I say this to say, brothers in particular, sisters, watch what y'all posting on the internet. See, I'm covering myself because I'm saying, hey, I'm not saying nothing disparaging or celebrating it. I'm saying, hey, he says he don't like empathy. That ain't how he wants to get, that's his ideology. So I'm honoring that. Don't jump on your internet because especially nowadays, they watching your post, they tracking it. You on there, yeah, good friend. Glad he's got you saying all that. Then don't be surprised you get that. Hey, you can come into the office. You used the company computer on Twitter and left this particular comment regarding the passing of Charlie. You're suspended. You're fired. Don't do that. Be wise as a servant, harmless as a dove, y'all. Everybody ain't got to be sensationalized and all of that. I'm doing it, and I ain't even really going in. I'm saying no empathy because that's what he would have wanted. How about that? Let's move on. Democratic National Committee headquarters receives a bomb threat in the wake of Charlie Kirk. You see what I'm saying? This is why the spirit of civil or race war is going on. They already were sending bomb threats to Democratic National headquarters over his death. Look, hoaxes targeting black colleges, shutting classes as anxiety mounts in the U.S. People are on edge. They were sending out bomb threats and threats to Howard University. They had to cut the classes. Why? Now, if he's this good old martyred Christian, Why are we even talking about? Why are people even taking these particular stances, going against black colleges, threatening black colleges now, unless he had an ideology that fed into a white supremacist mentality? Obviously, everybody knew, or there was undertones from his politics and from his rhetoric that shows that he didn't really have a love for our people, right? So fake bomb threats, whether it's at the Democratic convention or black colleges, they would come going in on it. Several historical black colleges and universities canceled classes and events on Friday after a series of threats. The FBI said the calls were hoaxes, yeah, until they're not. Until they're not, right? We've seen multiple school shootings over the past couple of weeks. So who knows? Who's to say it's a hoax or not? We don't know. But now all this vengeance for Charlie is getting floated around. And all it's going to take is another wind-up doll, mentally ill cat to jump off and do something crazy in the name of Charlie. And it's lit. So pay attention. Suspect dead, 2 injured after shooting at Evergreen High School in Jefferson County. It's in Colorado. Another Edomite kid shot at some students, wounded. I think he's wounded 2, and shot himself. Just a couple of weeks earlier, there was another school shooting. So here we go. We're seeing the spirit of warfare, the spirit of contention, the spirit of dissent, sedition going on right here in this country, along with others. Listen to Paul. Look at it. Imagine the White House like this. Over in Nepal, man, they going buck wild. I seen the Edomite, some Edomite cat man came on my feed. He had a video called "What They're Not Showing You in Nepal," and he was live on the ground running in the streets. That damn video had 14 million views in 2 days. And he's out there wilding in the street. He's not, he's not participating, but he's documenting and filming everything with his camera, and he's just running through the streets. And it's very interesting how they treat him. And it reminded me, when you read in Genesis 4, and it talks about how the mark that was set upon Cain, it said that nobody's to touch him. That he's to be reserved for the Most High. Fugitive and a vagabond he was going to be, right? That same spirit translated onto Esau. The spirit that Cain, that wasn't Esau. He wasn't, that the mark was spiritual. He was being reserved for judgment. Of spirit of vagabond he was going to be. Later, when it translates into Esau, physically you see the mark being leprosy on him as a physical representation. This is why he was noted at his birth, unlike nobody else in the Bible. So that mark now became physical on him, and the same spirit applies. Don't nobody go against Esau really like that, man. He got to take himself out. Yeah, we could talk about Denmark Vesey, and we could talk about Toussaint Louverture and the Haitian revolts, but guess what? The Haitians is paying Esau back to this day, lost everything, and now they the damn scum of the Western Hemisphere right now for going up against him like that. And that's how the Most High said, no, he's mine. When Yahweh said, vengeance is mine, that's what it is. You understand? But when you see these cats, man, this Edomite was running in the midst of all these damn Indonesians and the Nepalians, whatever you want to call them. They look like a mix of Elam and Moab in there. And they immediately grabbed him and said, "Are you okay? You okay? My main thing is your safety." And he's running around and nobody would touch him. They looking out for him. They giving him, when they tear gas, they giving him what? I mean, you would think, and I'm like, this one Edomite in the midst of all these brown people, man, you would think they would, ride on him and stop him out and tell him, man, get up out of here trying to publicize our plight and our oppression, man, trying to make a buck off of YouTube. And one person did say, this isn't for social media, but he was saying they wasn't doing it for social media. He wasn't rebuking the Edomite for doing it. I was going to play his video, but I don't want no copyrights or whatever, because he got, Like I said, his video had like 14 million views. So I know he's monetizing and he's going to be like, anybody using my stuff, I'm copyrighting and striking it. So ABC News got their own view. But I look at that, I said, man, these damn nations be scared as hell of Esau. They burning up, destroying, bombing. They own stuff in their own country.
The hardest
man.
thing is to get started. You have to get it on paper.
Tourists from England.
Welcome back. The majestic peak of Mount Everest is what often comes to mind when we think of Nepal. Our
youth is doing this. They killed their internet and everything else, and now they got upset and they riding up against the government. And they like, look, this is we're tired of being discriminated. I mean, what they say? They're tired of being oppressed, and it's a youth movement. You're gonna see them in a minute.
It's being called a Gen Z revolution. After thousands of infuriated young people poured into the streets at
the youth, man, they are so addicted and so plugged into that damn matrix, man. They said when the government shut down a few apps, WhatsApp and social media apps, they lost their damn minds. They said, don't take away our crystal balls from us. Don't take away our damn internet from us. Are you crazy? We're addicted and we love this, man. The beast system, we want it. We want to be surveilled. We want digital ID. We want to be able to buy and sell, utilizing tracking devices on our phones and everything. We want this. You taking it from us, we're going to raise hell in the streets.
But that ignited deeper resentment over entrenched corruption and the luxurious lifestyle of Nepal's ruling elite, all while youth unemployment remains at around 20%.
So, there they go. Youth unemployment, the rich get richer, the poor gets poorer, the youth is being neglected, and they turning up their apps, they wilding out, right? So, we know, according to 2 Ezra 9, 1 and 2, we read that earlier, unrest of the people. 2 Ezra 15 tells us about sedition going on amongst governments that are not going to regard the princes or the kings or the rulers or their cities. Every man's going to do what's right in their own eyes. They wilding out. This is just the beginning. So we see what's going on over there in Nepal as well.
Although Nepalese citizens are fed up of corruption, we need a new youth, new power, and new politicians.
On Monday, security forces opened fire on protesters in the capital, Kathmandu, killing at least 19.
So they were just protesting, but like government started violence, they started shooting the children in the school dress. It can't be done.
The next day, Nepal's Prime Minister KP.
So they out there shooting students. They going at it over there. All right, let me continue on. This is something else I wanted to show too. And I made mention that I think me and some of the brothers were talking about this not too long ago, about how even a side hustle of people, monetizing off the internet, that's going to get burnt out too. With the inception of AI, people are getting ready to be replaced with AI, even from podcasts and all of that. And I stumbled across this article earlier this week, and we were just talking about this like a couple of weeks ago. And some, I think a couple brothers were like, yeah, they're going to want to still see human faces, man. And people are going to tune that out, man. Look how fast, and look, remember, here we are dealing with a system that people's attention spans are like goldfish. Like they want more and more and more consumers, right? 5,000 podcasts and 3,000 episodes a week for $1 cost per episode behind the AI startups plan. So they're working on doing massive flooding of podcasts. They're getting ready to move out all these other independent podcasts who ain't really doing no numbers like that. You about to get moved out the way. If you're not profiteering, and really you're not a Joe Rogan, you're not a Joe Budden and Brink channel, all the them top podcasts or whoever else is out there. I don't know all of them, but I'm speaking from the urban community outside of Joe Rogan. I know he's number one, but yeah, They getting ready to squash all these other podcasts with massive floodings of AI-based podcasts. People's already, entertained by AI as it is. From the cinematic stuff that they doing, the cartoon stuff that they doing, the fake, voiceover work they doing. People's already enthralled with it as it is. So now you're getting ready to get thousands of podcasts with that's AI. You ain't gonna be able to tell, or don't even care if it's real or not. It's entertaining. You gonna ride with it. Former Wondery exec Jeannie Wright is leading a new firm, Inception Point AI, that's betting on the flooding the zone with audio content. I think the people who are still referring to all AI generated content as AI slop are probably lazy Luddites. So for time's sake, know that that's coming down the pipeline. They get ready to smash all the little small podcasts. Everybody's trying to get their little podcasts off, and they get ready to go through with AI galore and take that over. Fantasy or faith. One company's AI generated Bible content stirs controversy. This is what I implore brothers and sisters too. Don't get so enthralled and so caught up with what AI can do for you and your content. I'm starting to see, man, Israelites, man, is leaning on AI more and more. I mean, at what point in time, man, does the beast now provide you with all your answers? I'm going on. What's AI say about Joel chapter 6, Joel chapter 3? What's AI say about Job 30? What? AI, make me a breakdown about Revelation chapter 12. If you remember, like 2 years ago, there was a pastor that had AI do a sermon for him. And he tried to present it to the people, and there wasn't no salt. Wasn't it? The people was kind of like, man, what's going on here? No spirit behind it. But there's pastors out there using AI for their damn sermons now and doing their biblical research. It's Israelites counting on AI to make determinations on information. It's dangerous, man. It's a slippery slope. We got to be balanced out. Don't be just buying into AI. A lot of Israelites and Christians and everybody else is using AI to develop content for them and making, cartoon imageries and all kind of stuff. Here's an example. Let me show you something. And this is why they're saying fantasy or faith, because at some point in time, everybody sees that AI is fantasy, it's fake, it's an imitation, it's not the real deal. But people look at it as real. And now we're at the point now where some of the AI stuff, you don't know if it's real or not. So at what point in time does these AI imageries that our people are infatuated with and like now overthrow their reality of what the book really stands for? Is it really just about these AI images and cartoons and re-imagings of what a person inputs into AI and says, make me an imagery of what Revelation chapter 12 should look like, and show Michael the archangel fighting, and people can get enthralled with that. Like, damn, I'm not gonna read no more. I'm just gonna watch AI. See, look at this. In a recent video posted to the AI Bible's YouTube channel, buildings crumble and terrified looking people claw their way through the rubble. Horns blare and an angel appears floating above the chaos. Then come monsters, including a 7-headed dragon that looks like something out of a Dungeons and Dragons rulebook. The visuals in this 8-minute video, which depicts a section of the book of Revelation, are entirely generated by AI. At times, it feels like a high-budget Hollywood movie, at times more like a scene from a video game, and at times like fantasy art. You don't know what it feels like. Is it fantasy? Is it a video game? Is it? We got to get back to reality. Look at this as one particular example. Now we know this is
between us, but I gotta say, I love everyone. That
this is how goofy it's getting.
Includes you, my friend. Welcome to the pod.
Me and yeah, I have no beef with you.
Look at this.
So some people think that there's like weird beef between us, but I gotta say, I love everyone. That's kind of my thing. So that includes you, and I got nothing but love for you, my friend. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. And yeah, I have no beef with you. To be honest with you, before you reached out to have me on the podcast.
Now, how many people gonna watch this for entertainment, even though it's blasphemous in all manners? oh, does Jesus have beef with the Easter Bunny because Jesus was raised on Easter Sunday? Are we supposed to observe or respect Jesus? Or are we supposed to respect the Easter Bunny? Like, I'm tripping. Like, this is the foolishness that goes on. Here goes a mock podcast that they made out of AI that now has gone overboard. So, do we continually still trust in the same systematic way, imagery? Or we just gonna use it for good now? And then now people get so caught up. Matter of fact, me and my son were just talking about yesterday. Well, one particular camp used to make um, cartoons, but artwork, handwritten stuff. And now they ain't do that no more. Everything's AI now. And he was like, "Yeah, I ain't even feeling it no more, man. It doesn't look like it's no real spirit behind it. It's just AI, real, fast, little imagery and whatever." So, it kind of removes the spirit up out of things when it's not done via the book or we ain't really locked in like that. But, here they are making mockery of the book, man. And here they are talking about, I don't really have beef with you. Like, come on, man.
Yes, I'd literally never heard of you. So like, why would I have beef with you? It makes no sense.
Totally. Yeah. That's so wait, did you say you've never heard of me?
Oh, no.
See, this is the type of foolishness that's going on. Right. So we got to be careful with our intake of the AI content and falling in love with it, because remember, it still comes from the system of the beast, man. And there's no replacement for the good old book. And I know the scriptures say, man, the Jews require a sign, and visual aids always help with the understanding, and that's all good. But don't fall in love with it, man. Don't utilize that as your crutch, because now it's going to become more fantasy than it does faith, than it does actually give credence to what the words say. And sometimes things can get lost in translation. And that's exactly what the B system, that's exactly what the tech is built for, is to have that reality of the book get lost into this visual artwork that just got everybody enthralled and visualizing all this fantasy stuff. But we're dealing with real stuff in this book, man. So let's not get it twisted. Here goes another one. Hebrew Israelite. A black Hebrew, here they go again. Black Hebrew fighter pilot at Lockheed Martin claims boss tried to repeatedly convert him to Christianity. Now, this is a brother who worked for Lockheed Martin for 3 years. Ended up getting fired after a while. And, this is problematic because, like the scriptures say, there's going to be persecution that comes in. Let's get a couple scriptures on that. This is a warning for all of us. And I know there's some Israelites out there like, man, see, that's what it gets. You ain't supposed to be saying who you are on the job, and you ain't supposed to be trying to keep the Sabbath. Like, come on, man. Wait, at what point does the scripture say, man, who's going to rise up for me against the evildoers, man? Who's going to stand up for the workers of iniquity? Who's actually going to stand up and declare themselves to be the men and women of the Lord? Don't get me wrong. Ain't nobody, you're not supposed to be going to work and saying, like, hey, that's why I'm an Israelite, man. No. But on your own personal, which this brother did, let them know and acknowledge, hey, I keep the Sabbath. I need, this to be respected. My dress, he didn't mention him wearing fringe or whatever else. The only thing they really talked about was his Sabbath being violated and holy days, constantly being harassed or questioned. Now, you're supposed to stand up for those things. Those are high holy days. Those are days of the Lord. 2 Timothy 3:12 says, yea, and all that live godly in Hamashiach Yahweh shall suffer persecution. It comes with it. It comes with it. If we're in Christ, man, that's going to be part of this. That's going to be part of the scenario. There ain't no hiding that you can do. There ain't no, you should have kept your mouth quiet. No. Instead of saluting the brother, saying, hey, man, brother stood up for his faith, and that's what it is. And now he's going to litigation over it. Now, most I willing, the brother wins and drains them devils for everything that they got and some. But it's a lesson learned for all of us that, persecution coming down the pipeline. Not too long ago, the chump was saying he's encouraging religious talks on the job. Now all of a sudden, brother want to stand up for his faith and they condemning him. But Christ said this: no man, when he hath lighted a candle, putteth it in a secret place, neither under a bushel, but on a candlestick, that they which come in may see the light. So we're supposed to be the light. How are we gonna do that if we tucking and dodging and not, wearing our fringes, observing the Sabbath, and we out here living like we part of the damn world? Nah, brother stood up and did what he was supposed to do. So, let's get to that article real quick. And another scripture say that in Romans 8 says that death nor life nor angels or principality, nothing's going to separate us from the love of Christ. Paraphrase. Now it says a member of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement and fighter pilot working as an F-35 flight instructor. And then people be questioning whether or not, off topic, but whether or not Cornelius was an Israelite. He was a Roman of the Roman band. Like, what's that mean? There were Jews in the Roman army as well. Here's a brother working high level. Lockheed Martin, they're trusting him with $10 million planes, and he's training others how to fly these planes. And he's in the truth. So it says he was a flight instructor for Lockheed Martin, claims a spiteful higher-up regularly questioned his religious beliefs, going out of her way to interrupt his observance of Shabbat and making multiple attempts to convert him to Christianity during an overseas assignment. So here she goes, challenging him about his beliefs. He probably trying to keep it cordial, not trying to cut her up. She's trying to get him to convert to Christianity, telling him that the Sabbath's on Sunday, who knows what. And he's trying to tell her, look, we're overseas. I respect and honor the Sabbath. I'm not working on this day. I need to be, I need my isolation, my rest time. She was constantly interrupting, moving in, questioning him, wondering what's he doing, asking him to do work. He's telling him no. So it says that according to a federal lawsuit filed by Richard Rowland Jones III, whose complaint also accuses the supervisor of, among other things, openly lamenting the fact that their workplace was no longer whites only. Sound like some Charlie Kirk stuff, huh? Well, obviously, it was affirmative action hire, man. The brother ain't smart enough to be a flight instructor and teach others how to fly these damn F-35 planes. It was an affirmative action hire. It's no longer whites only. It says Jones always received, quote, superior work evaluations throughout his 3 years at the multinational aerospace and defense behemoth. So he was always top level with his work evaluations. According to the complaint, which says he received the Leadership Award in 2023 that goes only to those ranked among the top 1% of Lockheed Martin employees globally. So persecution on the way. Later on in the article, it says that the brother, he got a lawsuit going. He just filed earlier this month. Say he was unjustly fired. They added on some other foolishness on him, but it was all over him keeping the Sabbath and holy days. In particular, he was over in Japan at a Lockheed Martin base over there, training and all this other stuff. He's trying to keep the Sabbath. Said, man, the damn white broad kept coming in, interrupting him all the time. He kept telling her, stop interrupting me, stop disrupting my Sabbath. It's my rest period. It's time I study, whatever. She keep on interrupting him, harassing him, all this other stuff. So as soon as he starts fighting back, next you know, Jay get fired. So ain't nothing wrong with standing up for your holy days, asking for your Sabbath off, so forth and so on. But just know that they're trying to circumvent even your First Amendment right to freedom of religion now to fire Jakes. Right? So you got your fringes on at work. You already got your thing established. Keep doing your thing. Nobody said you need to go in there proselytizing and trying to convert everybody and breaking everybody down. You ain't got to do all that. Just do your work and handle your business. Get up out of there. Somebody want to talk about it too? We can talk after work. You got my number. We can talk off the clock. On the clock, you're gonna disrupt me. You're gonna lose your job. You gotta learn to be wise. When I was young, in the truth, I didn't give a damn. Me and the brothers, me and about 4 other brothers, we all worked at the same little call center. doing customer service job. We didn't give a damn. We was trying to convert everybody in the job. We was debating Christians, Africans. We was debating 5%ers. Everybody that we worked with, we was in there debating. We putting calls on hold so that we can have conversations after work. We're going to go post up on the corner about 5 blocks from the job. People rolling by after we got out of work. We on the street. And they like, hey, we seen y'all yesterday. It's like, yeah, that's our real job. You dig what I'm saying? But that's how it was. Super zealous, didn't give a damn. But as you get older, wiser, you got to be wiser to serve harmless as a dove. Man, you get in there, do your work, but know that even that now isn't protected. Because brother just standing up for what he was already observing and doing. But you might always have that little white witch or that little damn warlock in there, man, who just hates and despises. And best believe they watching, they online, they seeing, and they know. As soon as you say, oh, you one of them? Oh, I heard you call white people the devil. Okay, you working under me now? I'm gonna give you hell. So they watching, they know, and it doesn't matter what quote unquote camp you in and all that, we're all the same to them. So be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, but don't tuck your tail and duck and somebody asks you, well, what's your faith? What do you I ain't in nothing. I'm a Christian, yeah. No, you better still stand up and say who you are, man. The Most High woke you up into this truth to declare it to the ends of the earth, man. But you ain't supposed to be running around just wilding out on the job. So be wise on that. I don't think this brother did. I don't know. But he was fired because of him keeping the Sabbath. And you know they wouldn't harass no damn small hat. They wouldn't have gave no damn small hat the problems that they did. The problem is because he was a quote unquote Black Hebrew Israelite, and you know what they say and what they do and the stigma that they slap on us and what they see online, and he caught hell for that. But it comes with the territory, man. That's the persecution. Christ said we're gonna be hated all men for his name's sake. Right? A couple more. So, hey, another pandemic. Here we go. Pandemic fears intensify as multiple towns are locked down in an attempt to stop Ebola now from spreading. So what else have we got? We got disease X, we got Ebola, we got bird flu, we got COVID, they're constantly bombarding us with these damn plagues that's being threatened to be spread around. Then they just had one in China saying it's coming, it's spreading around. It's all scare tactics, fear tactics. Who knows? All we do know is that Christ did say there's going to be pestilences in the earth. If the white man decides to weaponize them like he did 3 years ago, 4 years ago, no, wait, 2025, good Lord, 5 years ago, damn, time is flying. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. So health officials have declared an Ebola outbreak after recording 58 suspected cases and 20 deaths from the disease. Last week, the Democratic Republic of Congo declared the Ebola outbreak in towns of Bulape and Mawika in the Kasai province. So always over there in Congo, man. They be constantly flying back and forth with the Congo. Don't be surprised you hear about some damn white man that came from Congo and coughed and he's on a plane. That they got a quarantine now. They did that a few years back. They did that about 8-9 years ago. The first Ebola outbreak. And they had a case, I think the cat flew into Colorado, and then they had another one in Texas. And they were talking about, he was coughing up blood, his eyes started bleeding and everything else. And, it was a real little scare for a minute. But, they just bubbling up with different things. Remember, I always say the CDC is the Center for Disease Control. Who's controlling these diseases? They got a center for it. You seen it in that movie, Contagion. At the end of the movie, once they got a hold of that virus, what they do? They stored it into the little crowd's freeze chamber. And say, well, maybe we'll need this later. Freeze that one. And they had a whole freezer full of it. So that when there's it was an outbreak. Well, who controlled it? Who was holding on to the damn thing? Oh, you was. Okay, we got you. All right. Sam Altman wants his new company to scan the irises of every human on Earth. Here's what that means for you. Uh-oh. Scanning your iris, huh? And I'm about to do a better deep dive on this. I don't want to, make light of this. So I'm about to double back on this because it's all indicative of the beast system. Remember, marking your forehead or on your wrist, it ain't got nothing to do with no chip. They don't need it no more. Everything is already digitized. Even what's his name? I ain't even gonna go there right now. I'm gonna double back on this one. I'm gonna read it, but like I told y'all last week, I'm compiling a lot of information regarding this whole little Mark, the digital, the spiritual, the whole shebang. But he ain't hiding it no more. The eyes may have it, but Sam Altman only wants yours for a quick iris scan. With that, the tech mogul says that the latest venture, the World Project, can eliminate ever more sophisticated human-like bots from the internet. So here it goes. Everything is internet-based. Oh, we got to find out who's real, who is it. This is why they're flooding everything with AI. I just got through saying we're in an age now we can't tell what's real and what isn't. A lot of our people now are infatuated with what these AI depicted stories from the Bible than they are with actually reading the damn Bible. So now here comes Sam Altman saying, oh, which is one of the damn tech warlocks that's employed through the government and through his, his venture tech companies, who's coming in saying, oh, well, because this is becoming a problem, well, we need to ID who's real and who isn't. The rapid rise of AI has meant to become increasingly hard to tell if articles, comments on message boards that people are playing against in online games or even chatting to are real. The World Project wants to change that by giving everyone a unique ID, which, when applied online, would confirm they are the person they say they are. Digital ID. Hello? So far, 15 million people around the world, the Post has been told, the ambitious goal for the project is to reach 100 million in the next year, have been verified human by the scans. The process of signing up involves a futuristic looking shiny sphere called an orb. A person looks in its lens for 5 seconds and it obtains a picture. So this goes back into, if you remember, and let's look at it one more time before we close out. The WEF Pro ID. Now, remember, it said that they want you to look into an orb so that you can access the internet and say who you are. What is this meaning? A digital ID. This is coming from the World Economic Forum. This is their plan. This is what they're informing everybody. This is what it's going to come down to. Your access to healthcare will be digital. Financial services, and what? Meaning to open a bank account, to carry out online financial transactions. It's all going to be digitized. It's all going to be put into a QR code, an app on your phone, an orb to scan your eye. You name it, it's all going to be incorporated into one particular system to track and trace and take account for everybody. No bots, and everybody you human, you want access, you're going to have to go through this system. I'm going to have to go through the system. That's what they're planning on. Food and sustainability. Oh, you want to eat, want to buy, sell, want to create, want to live off the land? Oh, we need that. Travel, mobility, humanitarian response, e-commerce. Oh, can you escape online? Oh, I ain't got to go to the store. I'm just going to use all the internet. That's the trap. You think you're getting away? No, you're not. You're not even going to be able to have an online business without being involved in the system. Social platforms, what everybody loves. Oh, your Instagram, your Twitter, your YouTube, all that is going to be incorporated sooner than later. You won't be able to access these things unless you're part of the B system. So that's why Jake's out there teaching you better get used to them grassroots, man. Highways, byways, impersonal networking, doing it like that, because once they crack down on this internet and cut the TV off, as Kendrick would say, that's it. Unless you decide to say, I'm going to merge with the beast. I want in. Paul said, I got to be all people, all things, all people. I'm using wisdom. You know dang well that ain't what you're in there for. You're going back in there because you think you're going to miss out. Financially, healthcare, whatever the case may be, you're going to go back into the system. You're going to merge in with the machine. E-government, telecommunications, smart cities. Yeah, all that's going to be into one. Sam Altman is saying, here's the way you're going to get it through your head, your iris scan. It's going to determine who you are with a unique ID of who you are. So again, I'm going to double back on that, do a little bit better of a deep sea dive regarding this digital ID system, the MOB, mark of the beast, all that good stuff, right? Because the tech revolution is here. Bill Gates has popped out. He's talking about giving everybody digital tattoos, which essentially really is what that mark, charagma, in the Greek in Revelation 13, really essentially means. It says it's an etching or a scratch, almost like a tattoo, not an implanted thing in your arm or on your forehead. Everybody in moment would be thinking or waiting for that. The devil wouldn't be what he is as far as a deceiver and adversary if that was what was put on the table. Everybody's waiting for it. If everybody knew, oh, RFID, we already know. We waiting for that. Evangelicals, the Edomite Christian, everybody doing it. What's more deceptive is what people are already used to. You've seen all the people, all them kids out there and the youth in Nepal. Cut off their internet, they wilding out. Why? Because they want the internet. They need the internet. They want to be one with the machine and the beast system. Take it away from them, all hell breaks loose. So now everybody's so used to being, they already incorporating that. So if I slide a little bit something, oh, we're here, don't worry about it. We're just going to change the password to this. If you notice, everything now is two-step verifications. They want your fingerprint, everything. They want biometrics to verify and set up a password, all that good stuff. Y'all already know. Like I said, we'll talk about it another time. Listen, through all the hiccups, the tech issues that came in, the spirits that came in, disrupted the stream earlier, we made it through. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shai, man. The water for y'all for staying there with me, ride with me, not giving up when times got hard. We fought through it. We won this battle. Satan thought he had us. No. We stood tall, strong, kept swinging, kept fighting back. We got back on here and made it happen. All right. So till the next time, tomorrow we got closing Shabbat class, 4 o'clock. Tune in, tap in, all that good stuff. If you didn't catch it tonight, catch it tomorrow. Make sure that you wipe your feet on your way out. Salute to y'all, man. Shabbat shalom. Have a blessed evening. See y'all in the near future, man. Shalom.